Mike, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Mike?
Yes, sir. I had some questions about bankruptcy law, about how much debt do you have to actually claim bankruptcy?
Well, that's a good question.
That is a great question. We talk a lot about this on my show. I mentioned David Singh a moment ago. David's actually our bankruptcy attorney. He also handles debit, credit, and collections law. But when I ask this question to folks, it really depends on the amount of debt you're talking about. So let me ask you, if it's a very small amount, David usually advises people don't do it. There's different types of things you can work around other than bankruptcy. But if it's a lot of debt, then that's something that you may want to be interested in. How much money are we talking about, sir?
Let's see, I think my vehicle is $15,000. I've got about $5,000 in personal loans, $2,000 in credit card, and probably about 10 or 12 grand in medical debt.
I think that I don't know if bankruptcy is going to be necessary for you. One is you can probably work with the loan company on the vehicle and just have that repossessed or turn it back in and then negotiate the breach of contract there. The medical bills expenses, I know you can negotiate those to a modest payment plan per month.
Also, the medical bills don't count as much towards your credit as the other stuff.
Correct.
I would pay those last.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, they're there.
I was asking about those because they're on the credit. Just getting behind on everything and trying to. Well,
you can restructure and you can refinance and you can consolidate. What I would recommend is this: go to askthedom.com. You send me your email. I'll email you Dave Singh's information. Just say, hey, Dom, I talked to you on Mike's show this morning, and chat with David first about your options. I personally don't think bankruptcy is your first option. Is it available? Absolutely, it's an option.
How old are you, sir?
36.
Yeah, you don't want it. You're right in the middle of. You're gonna have to take. It'll take 7 years to clear, and that's if you pay everything off.
Yeah.
And if you can get around it, like Dom said, if you have a problem with credit card debt, and you call the credit card company and say, "Hey, here's my deal. I'm falling behind." I don't know. They'll find a way. They just want money. They'll find a way for you less longer, so that they still get their money. You could work it out. If you could work it out with around. Getting getting bankruptcy, I think you'd be in much better shape in the future.
Absolutely. Go to my website, talk with the Singhs. Do it today or tomorrow. They'll be on the cruise on Thursday. But that's what I recommend.
Drunk as skunks and swinging.
Man.
Allegedly. Thank you. AskTheDom.com. I'm kidding about the swinging part. I don't even know if they drink. I'm kidding about it all. But let's go to Eddie. Eddie, good morning. You're on with Ask the Dom. Eddie?
Yes, Mike, thank you for answering.
All right, pal, what do you got?
I love your show.
Thank you.
I just got a question. I have a boxer, and he's like 85 pounds, and my neighbor has had 2 cats. They had kittens. Now he's got like 7 stray cats. The problem is the damn cats are alley cats. They eat all kinds of rodents and stuff. And then they come in my yard, and they do their business, and my dog thinks it's ice cream.
Oh.
I mean, is there anything I could do legally about that?
Well,
they don't have tags.
Yeah, you call animal control.
And they'll just come and get the cats and take them?
Yeah, you call animal control. If the cats aren't owned by anybody, if they're not tagged, if they're just alley cats and they're wandering around, then you can call animal control. Call Animal Control Services. That answers your question spot on.
Or, sir, for about $6, you can go to the store and buy a dart gun. Just throw one of those there. As it goes by, right in the ass, you'll never see that thing again.
Do you know how many times I've had to represent people for animal cruelty?
Well, it's not animal cruelty. I didn't say hit it with a hammer. Or a nice little airsoft gun. How about that? A nice little airsoft pellet. Shoot it in the keister, and that thing will never bother you again.
Do you know people tweet me now, says, Dom, I want to ask you a question, or I can contact Mike for Calta Justice.
If you want to go to jail, then that's the thing to do. If you want real advice, talk to Dom.
But, yeah, call Animal Control Service.
Animal control will put him down after a few weeks, wouldn't it?
Listen, I can only solve your legal issue. I can't solve the moralistic questions that come after it, all right? You have a problem, I'm giving you a solution. All right? Don't steamroll this into solving every problem thereafter, sir, all right?
Dart in the ass, sir.
All right.
Dart in the ass.
You guys have a great time on your cruise.
Thank you.
Thank you, pal. See you later.
Cruise Dom is coming out now. Like, hey, enough questions out of you.
Watch this. Ready?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to do. Done. Problem solved. Robert, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Robert?
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good, buddy. What do you got?
Morning.
I have question for Dom about I guess you would say a workplace scenario where I got jumped by 3 guys that were working adjacent to our building. I was not on property, not on the clock, and want to know what I need to do legally to
Well,
I can't tell if you're slow or if your phone keeps cutting out. So you got jumped at work, but you weren't technically on the property of where you work, and you were not on the clock.
Exactly. I was just getting to work. And I'm not trying to sue my company, but I want to know the legal ramifications of me being beat by somebody that's employed by another company.
Okay.
well, first of all, if you're attacked by somebody, you're a victim of a crime, so that should be reported to law enforcement, and then if charges ensue, then you're a victim, and through the state's attorney's office, you can get the victim's assistance, and then you can garner compensation through the restitution program. That's on the criminal side of things. If you're not at work at the time, not on clock at the time, not on the property at the time, then it's not going to fall under workers' comp. If you want to make a claim against the company that these other fellows work for, whether or not they're working at the time remains to be seen, or whether they're on the clock or agents of that company, then you might have a potential claim for negligent employment or negligent supervision if it falls within their scope and course of employment. But that is a very thin stretch, extremely thin. So your first, solution is going to be law enforcement and the state attorney's office. And then the second would be what I suggested there at the latter end. But good luck to you. God bless. Hope you're all right.
Yeah, good luck. What I suggest for every problem that everybody has now is just shoot them in the ass with a dart.
The cartridge that you have here, allegedly by John Senig,
yes.
The items inside of it, do we know what is in there?
I have completely washed my hands of that item in case it is in fact illegal.
But you understand, though, that I represent a lot of people that have these vape pens.
Right.
If they put substances in there that could be classified as a controlled substance, that is actually a third-degree felony.
Oh.
So as your lawyer driving in, listen to this, a lot of folks will be search incident to arrest, or they'll find possession of these. And now, okay, it's just a vape pen, but the
weeds in there.
If the substance in there, the cannabis oil, if it's not CBD, if it's THC or it's some type of other controlled substance, oil or material, that falls under the criminal statute code.
Well, I believe that John Senning is only vaping the vapor, and there is no THC filled.
Well, I'm just, you don't have it anymore. It's no longer in your possession.
I don't have it.
For legality purposes. But I'm just, for those listening,
right?
Be very, very careful, because a lot of people think, oh, it's just a vape pen, I'm going to put stuff in here.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, welcome to the land of third-degree felony.
I can assure you that John Senning is not bringing marijuana into the workplace. But I can also assure you he's probably got it at his house, and you should kick his door down and go.
Well, again, I'm just looking. You guys have me here for a reason, to look after everybody and protect everybody, and I'm sure you're right. So this is more or less a public service announcement for the other folks listening.
Thank you.
There
Okay, let's go to Elena. Elena, good morning. You're on with Ask the Dom. What can we do for you?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is going to sound horrible, but I'm going to put it out there. I've been taking care of my aging parent for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sibling that is involved in the will. We're not talking a lot of money, but my sibling has not stepped up to care for my mom for the past 4 years, and I wanted to see what my options were in order to get that sibling out of the will.
Get him out. Yeah. Can your elderly parent do that now? Like, can you have that discussion and go, hey, look, my deadbeat brother hasn't been doing anything. Let's get him out of this will.
Well, she does not. I have power of attorney. I have all of her paperwork. I'm on all of her paperwork. She does not want to do that because he is her favorite. But it's not fair. He won't even call her. It's a whole thing.
Do you ever think about saying, okay, hey, listen, I'm going out. Let your favorite come over and wipe your butt?
I said that to her the other morning. I said, I don't see your son here doing this. You know, I mean, that's my scenario.
Here's your problem. The qualification to have someone removed from a will has nothing to do with fairness. It has nothing to do with one sibling being awesome and the other being crap. That is not the standard. and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Are you a great person? Absolutely. Are you a good daughter? Absolutely. Am I proud of you talking to you this morning? Absolutely. But there's nothing you can do. If mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, or folks listening want to give, they could give all their money to the Church of Scientology or the Lutheran Church or a charity organization.
Let me know when you're ready for
Right.
the let me know when you're ready for the real answer.
Or Mike Calta. They can give it all to Mike.
Now you have power of attorney?
I do.
Okay, it's time for you to start pilfering money out of your mother's account. Seriously.
Oh, Mike.
No, look. You do what you do is you call you're fining her. So your job to go to Publix. Publix costs $100. You take $150 and you take that $50 and you put it in a jar, and that's My Brother's a Dick Fund. Okay, that's what you do. And then at the end of it, when your mom finally croaks, you can go, hey, look, she was a nice mother, she loved her kid, but my brother's still a dick, and now I got this money. And then when you go to the lawyers, they go, hey, sorry, Bobby, there's only $87 left. You take it, and you'll be the generous one. That's the only thing that's going to make you feel better.
Okay.
Trust me.
I thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just wanted to get some clarification, and so I like Mike's idea though.
Yes, Mike's idea. It's just an idea.
Or shoot him in the ass with a dart gun.
Exactly.
Both will make you feel fantastic.
Do not shoot anybody in the
I like
ass.
that one better.
And do not pilfer funds.
Pilfer now. I'm telling you. Thank you, dear.
Okay. Oh, that's why you make me work every time I come here now.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I provide real world answers to these questions.
Yeah, people call and email me. Mike suggested I should do it. What do you think? It's just no. Yes, some of these people might believe.
I'm going to tell you now, just to be safe.
Yeah.
In the times I suggested you burn something down, don't do that.
Yes.
Fires are hard to control, and if you burn something down and like if I say, sometimes people are like, my neighbor's tree is hanging over my fence and they won't cut it, and I go, no, set it on fire, see how quick they cut it. And then I think, well, what if the tree burned really quick and burned their house down and hurt somebody in the house? It's a horrible idea. Everything else, dead on. Let's go to James. James was in a car accident. James, you're on with Ask the Don. What do you got?
Yes, I was in a car accident about a year ago, or about maybe 2 now, and I haven't gotten any restitution, and I wanted to see how I could go about getting that restitution.
Well, you don't get restitution technically in a car accident. Restitution is something through the court system, usually through probation. What you're talking about is monetary compensation for your pain and suffering. So, did you hire a personal injury attorney?
Yes, but they took the settlement.
Well, what do you mean
from, the insurance?
What do you mean they took the settlement?
Well, we didn't go to court or anything. We just we took the insurance payout because I wasn't at fault. The other person was.
All right, so they settled the case, and then you got a percentage of the settlement.
Right.
All right, and then you signed a release.
I believe so.
Okay, so the case is over.
Did you get your money?
I got a couple of it, but it all went to my medical bills, and then I get letters in the mail still saying that I'm owed my restitution and that the lady hasn't paid any.
You're owed what was there a crime associated with the case?
Yeah, she had a DUI.
All right. Your problem is you need to contact the state attorney's office or the probation office. So, yes, so you do have restitution because that's through the criminal court system. So you're correct. But it was associated with a DUI stemming from an auto accident. So your issue is you've got to contact the Department of Corrections or probation, and you got to contact the state attorney and say, hey, I'm a victim of a crime, and I am not receiving my restitution payments. And then they have to look into it. So the representative for you is the state attorney's office.
Yeah, well, how come your stupid lawyer isn't doing this for you?
Well, because I can answer that question.
Okay.
Because their lawyer handled the civil aspect of it, and his lawyer in actuality is a representative of the state attorney.
So, but why can't his lawyer give him the advice that you just gave? You don't even know this guy, and you're already helping him out.
Because there's no money in it for the lawyer that represented him.
Well,
I mean, you want to call it what it is.
That's why I tell you what lawyer to go to.
I mean, currently I'm helping my personal injury clients now. I spoke to one yesterday who was subpoenaed possibly to go to court, working on a case with restitution. So I do it in conjunction, but I'm also a criminal defense attorney in addition to a civil lawyer, so I know both concepts.
Yeah.
His lawyer that he hired before may not know anything about criminal law, so therefore he might have hired the wrong attorney. But things happen.
I'm telling you, if you get in a car accident and you don't hire Dom, you're an idiot.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Mary, you're on with Ask Dom. Husband's in a car accident. What do you got?
There we go.
Yeah, my husband was in a car accident accident, and they're trying to sue us. But my husband has a videotape of her. She walked away from the accident, and I'm just wondering if we should now, because they're asking us for our assets and how much money we make and all this, if we should just go ahead and get a lawyer now.
Of course you should. You absolutely should. The minute there was an accident, there was as long as you started, as soon as you started smelling smoke.
Yeah, but if they're allegedly at fault, what they need to do is report it to their auto insurance carrier.
Right.
And then if a lawsuit is filed, right now they're not being sued because they're probably doing a demand for the policy limits.
Right.
And this is what I do. And then when I make a demand, I say for the driver or the owner of the car, because sometimes they're different people, I want to have an asset search. I want to have affidavits of additional or supplemental insurance coverage. That's what's being requested of them. So there may not be anything for them to pay. They may not be independently wealthy folks. So therefore, they say, hey, look, we don't have a lot of assets. Sign everything. It's under oath, so you got to make sure you'll be accurate. You can't lie.
Right.
Put your information down. You turn it over to your auto insurance company, and then they'll turn that over to the plaintiff's attorney.
Okay, so you think that that's okay that we go ahead and turn all the information in?
Yeah, because if you're sued, they're going to get it anyway. And here's the thing. Do you have any assets?
Well, yeah, we have a boat, we have a truck, we have a motorcycle, we have, nothing like major.
None of that none of that is enticing me to sue you. If I'm a personal injury attorney, your house is protected in a homestead. You got a couple of items, a motorcycle, a boat. What I'm talking about is we have thousands of acres, on Dale Mabry. That's the type of you got $1 million in liquidified assets in the bank. That's the kind of stuff personal injury lawyers are looking for. Something that's going to make you hungry and salivate at the mouth. If you don't have any of that stuff, you got nothing to worry about. Sign the stuff over, give it to your insurance agent. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're very. Now remember, Mike.
Yes.
If you're at fault for an accident and you are sued and you get that service, the complaint, you got 20 days to respond. You give that to your insurance adjuster, and your insurance company, your auto insurance company, will provide you a lawyer to defend you. That's part of the agreement.
In your policy.
That's
when
in
you sign it,
your policy. So people call me. I got sued. What do I do? I said, relax.
Yeah.
Contact your insurance company. They'll give you an insurance defense attorney.
I got time for one more. Let's go to Sean. Sean, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, buddy?
Hey, guys. So basically, my girlfriend, my fiance, her grandmother died, and her aunt, so her mom's gone, and her aunt is pretty much the executor of the will, and we don't know, they have like a rocky relationship, so we haven't come to her yet, but we just don't know what exactly she's entitled to. She's obviously allowed to see the will, but we just don't know.
What do you mean she's allowed to see the will?
We assume, we haven't actually gotten, this has all come up this morning actually, but
right.
We assume that since she's on the will, she should have a right to see.
How do you know she's on? How do you know she's on the will?
Her grandmother, before her grandmother died, it was said to her that she was on the will, and supposedly there was supposed to be some kind of like jewelry divided amongst the family members, but all the family members, majority of them are all on the aunt's kids.
Well, if she's listed in the will, then the executive of the estate has a responsibility, legal duty, to notify all of those listed in the will. If she's not listed in the will, then she has no right to look at it. And that surprised me. Andrew Gracie came on my show a few months back, and we were talking about that. He does our probate law. So if you go to AskTheDom.com, I'll give you Andrew's information. Peoples and Gracie out of Dunedin. He handles wills and trusts and estate planning and all of that. So that's who you really need to talk to. But if it just happened recently, sorry for the loss. But contact my office, and we'll give you Drew's information. But if you're not listed in the will, Mike, you don't have any legal right to look at it. So even if you think you are,
right,
you might not be. Well, Grandma told me. Well, Grandma was wrong.
Yeah,
or she lied.
Yeah, or she was too old and she didn't figure out, or your sister took you out of it because you were not helping out with the mother.
Yeah, but Andrew's pretty good at that stuff. So contact him at AskDom.com. I've got the two announcements for you, Mike, if I may.
I love announcements.
Number one is I know you like weapons, and I know you like cars. So
if I can get a weapon attached to my car, That'd be brilliant.
Well, you want to do that at Capitol Pawn. So my father-in-law wanted to do a personal invitation to you and the show.
I love your father-in-law.
He loves you too. So Sunday, October the 27th, he's having a classic auto show event at his pawn shop.
Okay.
Which is 2525
Which, by the way, I need
Bush
to
Boulevard.
point. Yeah, 2525 Bush Boulevard. I have to point out, as an average person who doesn't frequent pawn shops, I hear pawn shop a lot of times. I think sleazy place in a shopping center. Joe's place is on Bush Boulevard in a good area. It's got a nice concrete wall, half wall with a big fence around. Like he's got his own lot over there.
It mirrors the E-board, has the E-board lights.
Yeah, it's a real nice looking establishment. So feel comfortable shopping there for anything jewelry, any of their orders.
Well, the holiday season's coming up.
Right.
Concealed weapon permit training, you can get there now. So if you want to conceal weapons, they also have self-defense training there. And then, of course, all the great, and they have a wonderful barbecue going to be there and an auto show. And, of course, the guns. I wanted to point that out to you. Second is, if you're a veteran listening to the Mike Calta show,
right.
You've got until the end of this month, I believe on the 29th, we have the Veterans Day is coming up in November, and we have the Veterans Outreach Program in Hillsborough County. So if you're a Hillsborough County veteran and you have minor misdemeanor warrants, ordinance violations, court costs, fines, outstanding court costs or fees due, those can be resolved. And it's free of charge. So I am representing veterans for free. It's my way of saying thank you to your service. The Public Defender's Office, Julianne Holt, is doing a great job as well in Hillsborough County. Andrew Warren's office, the State Attorney's Office, Hillsborough County, is doing a wonderful job working to negotiate these deals down, as well as the county court judges. So the Veterans Outreach Program, the hearing is going to be Friday, November the 8th, and that's at the VA Center, James Haley VA Center. But you need to register. If you don't know how to do that, just call my office or go to my website, Hillsborough County Veterans. If you've got a lingering issue or any issues with driver's license or things you need to have corrected, fees, fines, court costs, we will represent you free of charge. And I always go and do that personally. I've done it now, I think, 2, 3, 4 years in a row.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great that you have something to offer them and you take advantage of that. So
well, and awesome. It's my way of saying thank you for their service. And if you don't know if you qualify, call me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Email me. I'll be more than happy to send you a response. You don't know what you don't know, and I'm here to help you. And to be able to do it with this show and this platform really humbles my heart to be able to help veterans. And unfortunately, I always feel bad because people call from Pinellas.
Right.
Or, this is just a Hillsborough County thing. So my apologies in advance. We're trying to work, with other counties in the future. But for right now, this is just for Hillsborough County veterans. Just contact me. I'll be more than happy to give you more information. It's the Veterans Outreach Program. Great organization.
813-251-5550. That is the number for Ask Dom's office. If you didn't get through today and you had a question for him, you can always email him at Dominic at AskDom. Or you can simply go to AskDom.com and hear his show tomorrow night on this very radio station.
That's right. Singers will be on tomorrow night.
I won't be able to listen. I'll be at the Side Splitters doing the land cruise, but I will have some questions for them on the cruise.
They'll be on the cruise. And also, remember, if you email me at the end of the week and I don't respond, it's because I'm on the ship.
Yeah.
A lot of people...
He's having a good time.
The people forget, and I turn the phone off because I want to kind of, detach a little bit. But that I'm working, literally, I'm working all the way up till I walk on the boat.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So I'm around, I'm here. It's just that give me a few days this weekend. If you don't hear from me, I'm in Mexico.
If you're like, who's this dummy in the suit getting on the boat? That's Dom.
Yes, but it will be a seersucker.
Oh, well.
So, that is somewhat nautical.
Yeah.
And with no sleeves.
Yeah. Oh, and then when you wear it, you have to talk like a Southern guy. I'm here to defend the law and go on a cruise.
That's a violation of my jurisprudence.
Bring me a mint julep and a pina colada chaser.
Also, I'd like to submit my application for next year's 2020 kickball team. Galvin, I was a champion in 1998.
I believe you.
Just FYI, I understand there's an opening, so I'm a very good athlete in kickball. If you just need to replace the injured John Seneca.
All right, good. We must take a break. Thank you for all your phone calls today.